Bren, and I want to do a quick little video. I hope to not do a lot of edits to this, just so I can get the information out quicker, because we're in my hardiness zone and in my garden, we're getting toward the end of a lot of the hydroponics growing that I do indoor for the winter. And I want to share with you some benefits of doing that and my personal experience on what I have learned over the past, oh my goodness, it's been almost 10 years. I've been dabbling in the hydroponic growing indoors experience, adventure. I don't know what you want to call it. It has been fun. I will say all of it has been worth every penny I've put into it, which I'll be honest with you, nowadays it's a lot cheaper to set up, or inexpensive to set up your own little hydroponic growing system like these back here. I feel so bad I don't even have that one on right now, because now we're warm again outside and I like growing outside too. However, if you're a person who doesn't like messing with all that soil and watching the temperature closely and things like that, growing outdoors, or maybe you don't have the space, hydroponics is totally the thing for you. So what I'm going to share with you today are things that I personally use, and if I don't cover something that you're interested in, please don't be afraid to reach out to me. You can comment on my video here, or you can of course visit my website and there's a contact button on there as well. Plus I share a bunch of hydroponics photos from my own experience on there. I've already kind of covered a few of the beneficial things that you get when you grow hydroponics in your home garden or your home. One important thing is it's super easy to do and set up these days. You don't have to mess with soil. You don't have to worry about different soils to use, what soil to use. Just eliminating that whole soil aspect cuts back on a lot of things like pests and diseases and fungus and things like that you can get when you try to grow edibles or herbs. Water is just a whole lot easier. Everyone has water plumbed into their home usually. That's another subject though. You have to be careful what water you put into your hydroponic system. I live out in the country, so my water comes out of a well and it goes through a filtration system, and there's not any extra chemicals or things added to it. It's more of a natural water system that we have here. So I don't worry about fluoride or chlorines or things like that in my water that go into my hydroponic system. So that's something to think about. All right, so you've eliminated the soil, which can technically be a benefit because everyone has water, drinking water. You could buy drinking water in the jars if you're worried, or the gallon things, the containers at the store, if you're worried about your water and what you put into the system. These different units that you can get now are everywhere online. I'm a big Amazon Prime person, mostly because I live in the country, and a lot of stores that carry things like that are not near me. So it's easy just to go online, and I love doing reviews and testing them so I can share with you what works for me. And I share a few on my website, and all of these you can get very inexpensive or cheap. Seriously, my first unit I tinkered with was an I Do, and I have a couple of those actually. There's all different names. There's Lapots, I think it's called. I use that one too. But the big name, of course, is Arrow Garden, and that one works amazing. They actually have a warranty behind theirs as well. But the bottom line is they're super easy to get these days, and can have them shipped to your house literally in 24 hours if you're on Amazon. Maybe the biggest benefit of growing hydroponics for me personally is you can enjoy herbs and different vegetables and cool crops in the winter time, where you could have 2 feet of snow outside where there's no way you could grow something outdoors, and you can easily grow it in your kitchen. Even I've done that years ago. Now I primarily set up in my office space here because I've got quite a few different units going in the winter. And last year we actually harvest herbs off of my Arrow Garden farm, and started it before Halloween, so mid-October, and by Thanksgiving we were harvesting herbs for turkey dinner, and just it's so nice to just go in there and grab a little basil and make a margherita pizza. It's so yummy with fresh herbs. Plus it just makes you happy to have that green and be able to do that. Lettuces are also super easy to grow, and you can grow so many different varieties that you would not find in a local garden store or garden center if you find one open. So that's another benefit as well. You can buy seeds and actually use those in your little plugs and setups. So some of the products that I'm mentioning on here, I will actually leave links in the description. If you want to purchase one for yourself, I use Amazon, and I appreciate if you click on that and use it. It's my affiliate link, and I actually get a small percentage of that sale, and all that money goes toward my blog and future reviews that I do to share with you, and I really appreciate your support. These sponges are really cool. They're smaller, but when you soak them, they get real poofy. And I'm going to actually read what it is. It's a sponge that's made out of 100% biochar cotton with higher fertility, and which is beneficial to plant growth, which is true. The plants just totally took off in these, and I'll leave the link at the bottom here. And I actually had a couple of my seed pods like this, and they didn't, this is an old one I need to wash, but the pod did not produce, or I was done with it. I was able to clean it up really good and actually reuse that sponge in there, which is something you can't do on a lot of the different hydroponic setups. So, but you don't really have to do that because these are super cheap to begin with. A lot of these, like the ones I showed earlier, will actually end up in my soil out in containers in my herb gardens outside in soil. So that's just an extra bonus note there. So I have a few different resources I want to share with you that I have found quite useful over the years of doing this. Before I jumped into the hydroponics, I actually, someone gifted me a little one. I think it might have been an arrow garden even. And I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to do that yet. It's kind of like the beehive setup I got. I got a bunch of books and I read up on it, and I kind of discovered, yeah, it's not really my time right now to do that yet, so that's still on hold. But the hydroponics seemed like something I could totally do, and I jumped right into it. I have some resource links that I actually have on my blog, and I'll leave a link in the description here. They are all from extension offices with research that have been done by master gardeners and students at the universities based on hydroponics. Great to read, great to look up. I also recommend, I have this book here. I actually met the author at a garden blogger event years ago, and he's just a young guy. I think he actually used to work in a huge commercial hydroponic greenhouse with lettuces and things. He may talk about that in the book. I didn't read that. It's kind of a book I flip through and I read the chapters that I need information about, but you could totally read through this book. I highly recommend it, and you can get that on Amazon or in your Kindle on Amazon. Super cheap. It's a great book. I highly recommend it, and it's by Tyrus. And so anyhow, all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and sign out. I want to get this video up. I had a couple of emails come through. I get a lot of spam, and it was funny because one company, they have this fancy website, and they got a bunch of links to different Amazon things, but I don't know the person. I don't know if it's some AI person or whatever it is. But when you click over to my videos and my website, you will find every link on there are ones that I personally put and I approve. I'm not a fake, just so you know. And I hope you find this useful. Now we are into April already. It's not too late to start up hydroponics. In fact, if you're anxious to get out and garden and you can't for a few more months because you're frost state, hydroponics is totally something. Invest in it now. In fact, you'll probably find some of these units marked down cheap because it's kind of the end of the season for indoor gardening, kind of. And it'd be a great time to get into it and give it a try. Trust me, if you get a nicer unit, especially like one of the arrow gardens that are a little more expensive, like the Arrow Garden Farm, it's nice. It takes up a little more space. You will love it, or you'll use it year after year after year. And they're really good with their warranty as well. You can contact the company there, and I've never had to do that. We've not had any problems with it. All right, so before I close out today, I'm going to actually show you what is going on in the hydroponics I have running in my office right now. It's about, let's see, it's April 2nd, and quite a few of these, actually both units will be shut off once we head into May. So the plants that I have started in there will be moved out into soil. That's something to keep in mind too with the hydroponics. It's a great way to start seeds with, you don't have to worry about watering because it's all set up in the unit and everything, which is a whole nother way of using these. So, all right, so let me show you what I got going on here. So on this shelf, I've got an older unit I've had for a while. I got this really inexpensive on Amazon. What I like most is it doesn't have the Wi-Fi hookup to it. You don't need it because that, I don't know, that's kind of confusing to me. And I like to be able to just do it manually like this. There's 3 buttons up there, actually. There's a fan I can turn on and off, which I have running now. Once these covers come off, I usually have the fan running. So in here what I have, this is I think it's called Blue Spruce Basil. It's yummy. All the seeds that I put in here were ones that I purchased. And I make up my own little plugs. In fact, well, these are the covers that come with. These are neat little covers that I found. Instead of using stickers, I found a 3D print for these. And we printed a bunch of them up. What this does is kind of plug up the pod and the sponge so it doesn't grow algae from the light and the conditions, and they work great actually. In fact, these, if you look, the plant just grows right through them, so that's kind of cool. And okay, so these also we 3D printed. This works. These just work really well in this I Do unit, and they're easier to wash because they're heavier. So I can wash them, and I've reused these probably 4 or 5 times now. In here, I'm kind of experimenting because I think I have some old seed. It didn't come up. It was a sage. It didn't come up. So I went ahead and put some oregano in there, which is another difficult one I thought to grow. But I was able to grow it over the winter. It just takes a little time for it to germinate. And these are really cool. This is stevia. I've grown stevia in here the past couple of years now. And what I'll do with this is just kind of let the root systems get nice and strong in the hydroponic setup. And that's the same one, started at the same time. It's just not, I don't know why, it's just not growing as vigorous as these two are. Same conditions, same water, same fertilizer. Anyhow, this is stevia. I love this stuff. In another couple of weeks here, or maybe sooner, it's getting warm enough in the dome, I will actually pull these out of the hydroponic setup and keep them in the sponge, planted in soil, and enjoy this. In fact, I have a plant I had all the way up till late January in the dome, and it just kind of started dying back, I think because of lack of light that time of year out in the dome. But I was able to harvest off of it, and there's actually the root system on the one in the dome is starting to sprout new growth. So I'm waiting on that to see if it comes back. I love stevia. This is a really good variety too. It's real sweet. And I found that one on rare seeds. But all these, like I said, I put my own seeds in. And you can do this. Just got to keep an eye on the water level since you don't have a Wi-Fi alarm. Which is easy to do this time of year because we're inside tinkering with things. Another really successful thing, I think for me, I'm so excited. Do you see what this is? This is thyme. I have a hard time sometimes keeping thyme alive and happy in my outdoor garden. But I tell you what, I started these from seed. I was so thrilled. I grew these from seed. Look at that one. That one's just growing amazing too. That one's same seed, same time. And these two are kind of struggling a little. That one I could see because it gets shaded by this basil, which technically I could go ahead and just harvest some off here. But look at it, thyme. Now in the past, what I've done with these, because we're heading into April, come May, I've got most of my herbs outside or in the dome, and I don't really spend a lot of time in my office or inside during those times of the month here in Ohio. So what I do is I've pulled this out, and I was able actually to grow this plug in soil in my window box last year. It kept going pretty good. I had to remember to keep the soil somewhat moist. It did not like little sun, but it liked a little bit of sun. Not too much sun or dried right out. But I'm going to do it again this year, and I have 3 plants to play with. So that's what I use these hydroponics for right now. I'm actually going to pull these out in the next couple of days and move these to the dome and start another herb in here. That the herbs that I start in here will be plants that get moved out to my herb tower. And it's just a fun thing to do. You can grow your own this way. Now over in that unit, this one is my Arrow Garden Farm, and I'm kind of embarrassed. It looks dirty, but it's not. I mean, this white, it happens. I'm in my 2nd season. I started seeds in here and have already harvested them or moved them out to the dome. They were started back in early October, and we ate off of them all winter long. And I ended up pulling quite a few of them just because they were so huge. Sometimes my basil plants get pretty tall, and this gets up to about 24 inches up. But for right now, it's kind of low because I started these. This is a large basil. I started maybe a month ago, month and a half, give or take. These other seeds going in here are going to be plants, herbs that I move outside as well. This dill, this is a new one. I started this one about a month ago because I have 2 other plants I did move out to the dome just because they were getting big and flowering even. They were so pretty. I love this stuff. I cut this and use it in dips and salads and fish the other day even. It's so fun to have herbs indoor. Oh my gosh, and that smells amazing. It's so nice to have that scent. Ignore this stuff in the back. These are just plants I'm messing with. They're not in the hydroponic. But there's some ideas of what I do here, and you could do this too. It's a lot of fun. Thanks for checking this video out. I'll see you next time. Be sure to subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. And of course, you can find me over on my website, which is in the description here. Until next time, I hope you get gardening. Get into those hydroponics.